to invert the existing publishing model. So there's no need to buy a single textbook or a single activity from one publisher, and it's also saving money in cases where budgets are tight. You can share in a way that sharing was not permitted or encouraged in the past. The idea that through the internet you can create more than one customized resource at virtually no cost. And finally, that teachers are empowered to be the content creators instead of just a group of individuals writing textbooks or developing lesson plans or creating curriculum materials. So it's really putting the power in the hands of those who are going to be doing the instruction and who know their own students. However, while it does seem like this wonderful idealized world, there are definitely still challenges. Some of these teachers have been facing for years with using the internet and trying to find quality lesson material online. How do you find it? Do you just search? Do you go to different repositories? How can you guarantee that that material is high quality? With the internet, this wonderful collaborative open experience also does mean that people can just put anything up. And certainly you will have some material that is better than others. There's a concern of permanence of resources. You want to hope that the website that you are using to locate your lesson plans will stay around long enough for you to come back to it or add new lesson plans or find new lesson plans. And then finally, the copyright issue, something that has long been in place, again, with the traditional publishing model. It still does exist on the internet. And it's often been a challenge. I know I've talked to teachers here in the U.S. who have really struggled with copyright questions. And it's not always something that they've been taught and they know a lot about. They certainly know that they're not allowed to take things out of a textbook and say, great, this is mine, and I'm going to put this all over the internet. They know that that's not considered okay. But with the advent of these open resources, there's often also been a new shift in how people think of copyright, and that's led to the Creative Commons, which is an idea that instead of protecting all of your rights for a resource, you're sharing that with the public, saying, I'm going to retain some of my rights, and I'm going to choose which ones I want to hold on to. So this is a way of opening up content that is not necessarily public domain, which is a free-for-all, nor is it, I own everything and I'm not letting anybody have it or work with it. And it's an evolving field when it comes to open resources, and it's something that we'll look at specifically when we look at resources on Curriki. So, I talked a lot about Curriki. For those of you who haven't been to the site yet, we are going to go there, and I'll kind of give you a walkthrough and show you around. The notion of Curriki, we're a free online community. We are both a content repository of lesson plans, classroom activities, resources, as well as a community for people to gather and comment on these resources. We're a not-for-profit organization. So again, we're really mission-driven to try to, again, collapse this education divide and make resources available to everybody and all students who need them. We have more than 100,000 registered members. Again, registration is free. Use of the site is all completely free. And we have over 35,000 learning assets, resources ranging from videos and multimedia to digital textbooks, lesson plans, student activities, and so forth. Our content comes from for-profit publishers who, while they still maintain a presence in that world, in the for-profit commercial publishing world, have chosen to share some of their resources with us. We also work with nonprofit organizations and nonprofit publishers. So the Sesame Workshop, the creators of Sesame Street, they have a global initiative for students, and so they've generously shared some of their content. We work with school districts and various regional organizations, both in the U.S. and abroad, We do get content from various ministries of education. And then also the global community of educators. So those are our individual members who come to the site and publish their lesson plans and classroom resources. As we mentioned when we talked about challenges, there always is the question, how do you know what you're getting is quality? And especially with a site like Curriki, where membership is free and is completely open, how do you determine what you're getting is any good? Our site maintains a quality control. We have a basic file check, meaning that a human being goes through and looks at every single piece of content that's added. So he's a busy guy. And he makes sure that the material is, educationally valid. It's not commercial material. It's not something that's, offensive, inappropriate content. It's not a virus. And then from there, once it passes file check, then it can go into what we call the Curriki review system. That resource can be nominated for a review, and the Curriki review team can give it a 3, which is exemplary, a 2, which is good, or a 1, which is basic. And this really indicates, a 3 content is some of the best content that we have. And the member can choose to edit the content after it's been reviewed and resubmit. The Curriki review system will give feedback and offer suggestions as to how to get a higher score. We also open up resources for member comments. So members can comment and say, hey, this is a great resource. Your resource needs improvement. Here's how you can make this better. We've also added a star rating system, like you would see on many other websites. I know Amazon has something very similar, where you can choose to give 5 stars, 4 stars, 2 stars, 1 star, depending on how you feel the material is and can be used. And then finally, there's a member flag system. Again, we have this file check system in place. That's really just an initial once and done process. So if the resource is modified over time, somebody changes it, somebody who's not the original creator changes it, or it links to resources that are no longer current or accessible, a member can flag this, and this goes directly to us, and we can take care of it right away. That's sort of the basics of working with digital resources in this kind of new open education model. So now we are going to go look at Curriki and look at how lesson plans on our site can be accessed and structured. So here we are. This is Curriki.org. You'll see here we are on the home page. And the home page really is just offering different highlights, new features. We try to engage our community as much as possible, so we have new featured members. We feature new resources each month. We have a blog. Curriki has a fantastic blog that's updated regularly. And in fact, the blog is a great place to go. I will show you some links to other sites where you can find digital resources. And the blog also has a full blog roll where you can go and click through to find sites that we support and advocate and think are great. So here we are. Right now, I am accessing the site just as a casual user. I am not logged in as a member. And so what I'll do is we'll look at some things, and then I'll log in and I'll show you some of the benefits of membership. There are really 2 ways to access content. You can click on something that's been editorially featured here on the home page. You can search, and then you can browse. First, we're going to start with browsing. You can browse by subject. All of our content is organized into subjects and then subtopics. These subjects are chosen by the content creator. So that person is adding the tags for subject and subtopic. And then you can click through, and then you'll see our language arts page here, and it shows you all of the different topics and all of the educational levels. and then some special features at the bottom. So you can see here, these would be all resources that have been given that number 3, that highest rating by the Curriki Review. This link gives you all of the resources that have been given top ratings, these star ratings by members. We have featured a few resources here. We also offer a sampler of all Curriki resources. It's a great way to kind of check out content. And then you can also quickly access group content. Groups on Curriki, it's a way for people to interact and engage, develop work collaboratively. It's most often used by schools or school districts or organizations working on a project, and they will work collaboratively to develop work. So from here you can also choose to browse all language arts resources.